ઘટતો ડાઉ જોન્સ જોવા મળ્યો અને અત્યારે તમે નિક્કેઈ પર નજર કરશો તો 700 પોઈન્ટ્સનો ઘટાડો ત્યાં નોંધાઈ રહ્યો છે એટલે વૈશ્વિક બજારોમાં કમ્પ્લીટ સેલ ઓફ જોવા મળી રહ્યો છે. આપણી સાથે વૈશ્વિક બજારોના સંકેતો પર ચર્ચા કરવા exim.com ઓસ્ટ્રેલિયાના CEO પીટર મેકવાયર જોડાઈ ગયા છે. ગુડ મોર્નિંગ પીટર. Finally, US Treasury yield is the major trigger for this downturn. What is your view on global markets?
Well, good morning. Look, a couple of things. First off, it's been a very heavy sell-off in Asian trade today. We've got China down nearly 4%. We've got New Zealand down only 1%. So the follow-on from this morning's moves on the Dow Jones and the S&P have been very, very heavy. And they'll probably continue. I mean, I think a lot of traders were expecting that this week would end in a relatively calm state, but it seems that volatility is back and back with a vengeance. So let's see what happens as far as European trade later today, and then of course US trade this evening. I think it's going to be a very volatile next 12 or 14 hours of trading session.
Good morning, Peter. I just wanted to understand that do you think that this mega bull market, which has already started at the around 2008 or 2009, it is about to finish?
I don't necessarily think it's going to finish, but I think you've got to be very mindful of where it's been in the last 3 years and then where it's been in the last 1 year. You know, the S&P, I think it hit it was around about 667 or 668 points in March of 2009. I can vividly remember it. Well, have a look now. In those 9 years, it's actually put on 2,000 points. So, you know, and certainly we're having a big retracement now, but, you know, any market that has that huge uptick has got to be exhausted, and you see big corrections. We're up 30% since Trump's inauguration, and the market probably just was overbought, and now we're having a bit of a washout, and that's not unusual.
Okay. On the other side, suddenly rise in crude production and the prices are coming down. What is your range for crude right now, and what kind of impact do you see on equity markets of that?
Well, I think crude initially on the downside has probably got a little bit further to fall. It was probably overbought as well because, quite simply, those OPEC cuts, that being factored into the market, we had a weakening US dollar and everything played well for crude. Commodities have come off, and that's not unusual also in the downturn as far as, you know, with the market having such a violent volatility in the equities this week, then, you know, commodities will follow suit. And it's probably, you know, got a couple more dollars to wash out of the market. Let's see where it is by midweek. But probably WTI is a $56 to $58 trade. Brent, you know, the normal, you know, price premium to it. So it's going to be, you know, a mid-60s, probably a 62 to 65 handle, I'd say, in the short to medium term.
Okay. Peter, two-part question, because if you look at it from the European Union has started devaluing euro. Later we have seen that the Japan is doing the same, and right now the dollar index, I mean the Donald Trump government is doing the same. Do you think that the way these governments are devaluing their respective currencies, it is going to have some ripple effect on the global economic scenario? And the second question is that in entire thesis, if you look at it, if you put the Keynes theory, gold bound to outperform. It has happened in 2011. It might be happen in 2018. So what is your view on it?
Well, first off, I think gold, I'll answer the first one. I think there's probably, you get increased in volatility, you're probably going to have that underpin as far as, you know, the gold and precious metal space, and that won't be something that traders will walk away from. More volatility is going to create more uneasiness, which in turn is going to force more into that trade. And, you know, if you see further unwinding, there's the first part of it. As far as the dollar, as far as euro, and as far as, you know, Japanese yen and so on, there is a lot of pressure on a lot of these very mature markets in the sense of trade, in the sense of economics, and of course the value of their currencies. And we've seen that, you know, the US dollar was overbought, and then since Trump's inauguration, which is the best part of 13 months now, it's down 1% a month. They're big moves as far as US dollar. Now, you know, it'll probably oscillate and be volatile to this point. But when you see those sort of moves and you take into consideration value of the US dollar, value of the US stock markets, and then that's going across the total globe, That volatility, I said it probably last year sometime. I think volatility is going to be the key word for 2018. And have a look, we're 1 month in, and it's just massive volatility.
Okay, in this volatility, would like to know what is your strategy and your company's strategy on equity and commodity. Are you going to book a profit or buy on dip?
Well, I think a lot of traders, and first off, Nisha, we offer, trading platforms for the retail market, and we're very conscious as far as all markets, including cryptocurrencies, that, the traders have got to be very mindful from a risk metric standpoint what their risk parameters are. And we're conscious that, many traders at these volatile times, they sit on the sidelines or they trade with very solid stop-loss mechanisms in place. I think a trader's got to be very mindful of what they're trying to achieve, and with such big violent turnarounds as far as market movements, you've really got to watch your screen very closely. And this isn't normal trading. This is very abnormal, and I think traders have just got to be very mindful what their risk metrics are, what they trade, what time of the day they trade, and what instrument they trade in.
Okay. Peter, a last question from my side. I just wanted to understand one simple thing. If somebody is 100% invested at this market, what will your advice? How much profit should one book? Because 2017 was the dream year. 2018 has started a completely bumpy year, and the complete picture is completely rosy. So what will be your advice? How much profit should one book if everyone is fully committed to the market?
Well, that's exactly what a trader's after. A trader is after movement. And I think one of the most important things that most traders need to realise and understand, and I'm sure they do because they've got their own risk or their own money at risk, is that a market falls traditionally far quicker than a market rises. So a lot of traders can do very well from a falling market just as easily as they can from a rising market. And that's where those opportunities to close a position out very quickly that's exhausted to the upside, and then naturally short a position. And instruments today allow that flexibility, and that's really what a retail trader across many different asset classes, from currencies to equities to commodities to interest rates, allows that 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I'd just like to stress to all retail traders, just, be very mindful as far as movements in the market, and have your stop losses in place, and don't look for too much blue sky. You'll never go broke taking a profit.
Okay, Peter, thank you so much for talking to us. ક્લિયરલી અત્યારે આપણે જોઈ રહ્યા છીએ યુએસ માર્કેટમાં એક મોટો ઘટાડો છે. આ એક ટ્રિગર ક્યાંથી આવ્યું તો તમે જુઓ કે દરરોજના દિવસના એટલે ડેલી વેજીસ જે હોય છે એ સડનલી વધતા દેખાયા છે, અને એને ધ્યાનમાં રાખીને માર્કેટે એ સંકેત લીધા છે કે મોંઘવારી વધી રહી છે એટલે ડેલી વેજીસ પણ વધારવા પડી રહ્યા છે. અને આ મોંઘવારી વધતા ક્લિયર છે કે જે 3 રેટ હાઇક આવવાના હતા કદાચ થોડા સમય બાદ આવત, પણ કદાચ એની કહી શકાય સ્પીડ વધી જશે અને જલ્દી જ એક રેટ હાઇક આવવાની શક્યતા અહીંયા માર્કેટમાં બનતી દેખાય. અને આ એક બીજો મેજર ટ્રિગર બન્યો જેના કારણે આપણે માર્કેટમાં એક મોટો ઘટાડો જોયો. ખાસ કરીને યીલ્ડની જે આપણે ચર્ચા કરી રહ્યા છે તો સરકારી બોન્ડના જે યીલ્ડ હોય છે એ 2.8 ની આસપાસ હતા તો 2.85 ની આસપાસ પહોંચતા દેખાયા. ત્યાં ગભરાટ ઉભો થયો અને ફાઇનલી આપણે કહી શકાય કે પ્રોફિટ બુકિંગ વધતા જોયું અને પેનિક વધતા જોયું. જ્યારે આટલો મોટો ગ્લોબલ સેલ ઓફ થતો હોય તો એની અસર કોમોડિટીઝ પર પડી. ત્યાં આપણે ક્રૂડના પ્રોડક્શનના ભંડારો વધતા જોઈ રહ્યા છે, જે ગઈકાલે અમે તમને રિપોર્ટ સંભળાવી હતી, અને આજે પણ એ જ આપણને દેખાઈ રહ્યું છે કે પ્રોડક્શનનો આંકડો વધતો દેખાઈ રહ્યો છે. પ્રાઇઝીસ સડનલી ડાઉન આવી ગયા છે તો એની તો પોઝિટિવ ઇમ્પેક્ટ આપણા પર હશે, પણ આજે ઇક્વિટી માર્કેટ હશે કદાચ આ પોઝિટિવને નિગેટ કરીને એના પર હાવી થઈ જશે. અને આપણે અત્યારે પણ તમે જુઓ એશિયન માર્કેટ ખાસા નેગેટિવ જોવા મળી રહ્યા છે. એકવાર એસજીએસ નિફ્ટી તમે જુઓ ગઈકાલની સરખામણીમાં 10,343ના લક્ષ્યાંક દેખાડી રહ્યું છે. આ ફ્યુચર્સના નંબર છે એટલે 200 પોઈન્ટ નીચે માર્કેટ ખુલે એવા સંકેત ક્લિયરલી અત્યારે આપણને કહી શકાય એસજીએસ નિફ્ટીથી મળી રહ્યા છે. એટલે આજે પણ તૈયાર રહેવું જોઈએ આ એક મોટા ઘટાડા માટે.
યસ, એક્ઝેક્ટલી. અને ખાસ કરીને ડોલર ઇન્ડેક્સ ઉપર પણ હવે તમે ફોકસ રાખીને ચાલો, ડાઉ જોન્સ નહીં. કારણ કે અમુક ટ્વિટર ઉપર એ પણ જોક્સ ચાલતા હતા કે યુએસની જે અત્યારે પોપ્યુલેશન જે છે તેના કરતાં પણ વધારે પોપ્યુલેશન અત્યારે માત્ર ડાઉ જોન્સ અત્યારે ટ્રેક કરી રહી છે. તો ખાસ ફોકસ રાખીને ચાલો. ડાઉ જોન્સ ત્યાંથી 2008 પછી ફર્સ્ટ ટાઈમ જે છે સિંગલ દિવસની અંદર એક આટલું મોટું કરેક્શન આવ્યું છે. તો એટલીસ્ટ પિક્ચર અત્યારે એટલીસ્ટ થોડાક સમય માટે રોઝી છે અત્યારે, તો થોડું ઘણાથી જે રીતના પીટરે પણ કીધું, બીન કેશ તમારી પાસે જો તમારા જે ટ્રેડ ઉપર તમે ભરોસો છે નહીં, તેમાં તમે લોસ હોય તો પણ તમે એક બુક કરીને તમે ચાલો અત્યારે, અને તે સ્ટ્રેટેજીથી તમે ફોલો કરીને ચાલી શકો છો. એક ક્વિકલી નાર્કો બ્રેક લઈ લે ત્યારે, અને બ્રેક પછી ત્યાંથી ખાસ કરીને ત્યાંથી આપણે આજના કારોબાર ઉપર ખાસ ડિટેલમાં ચર્ચા કરીએ.